Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're looking at the Giro d'Italia prize breakdown of the top 10 teams of this year's edition. So the prize money is divided out over the number of stages, and riders can obtain money through intermediate sprints, into Giro sprints, mountaintop finishes, stage wins, and even the general classification itself overall gives prize money as well for the riders, and all the different classifications with their leaders jerseys have money attached to them for the wearer each day and also the winners overall outright. And this year we also had the introduction of the Red Bull kilometer where you could win 2,500 euros as well for the team. But in today's video we're going to break down the Giro d'Italia's prize pot and see how much the top 10 teams earned this year. So apologies to the lowest performing teams, you will not be included. The lowest performing team in terms of gathering money was Intermarché that got 9,646 euros. Then ahead of them was Groupama FDJ with 13,185 euros and Cofidis with 13,842 euros. One omission of the list is Jaco Alula, who took 2 stage wins, of course, and won the Cima Coppi. They finished 17th, and that's quite impressive considering those 3 accolades that they had. So a shame for them. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and why not check out last year's prize money breakdown where we look through just how much money Tadej Pogačar and UAE Team Emirates got as well. But starting at the bottom of top 10, Ineos Grenadiers, and they had a total of 46,651, far down from last year where they of course did have the podium of Geraint Thomas with Tiemann Arensman in 6th place. But in this one we could see that Egan Bernal was responsible for the most prize money at 20,022, with Josh Tarling with the stage victory getting 17,818 in prize money, and Ben Turner responsible for 3,504 euros. And in terms of the final GC, that accounted for 13,588, and stage results 28,363 euros. 9th place was Decathlon AG2R La Mondiale team, and they took home an impressive 49,267 euros, and that came courtesy of Nicolas Prudhomme mainly, who got 20,375 euros, courtesy of him winning his stage as well. And we also had Dries de Bont, who was very prominent in the intermediate sprints, and in fact 6,000 euros of their prize pot came from that, and the stage results made up for 19,004 euros. So a lot of money being racked in by 2 riders. Sam Bennett probably the more disappointing one, their sprinter, only 1,654 euros. Next we come to Bahrain Victorious, who managed to get Damiano Caruso in 5th place, and Antonio Tiberi was looking like he could do something good, the white jersey winner of last year, but that didn't quite happen after that crash. And Antonio Tiberi was also in the break, and Eduardo Sampanini, he of course got a top 3 position for them, and that equated to 7,286 francs or euros, and Antonio Tiberi 11,220, with Damiano Caruso responsible for 23,941. And the final GC, you can see there, 21,017 was what was made up, and in total was 51,201 euro for the team, or Swiss franc. So very good by Bahrain Victorious. In 7th place we have a surprising pro-continental team entry of Team Polti Visma Malta with 52,207 euros. That is mostly attributed by Alessandro Tornelli, who was very active in the breaks, and you can see here that he accounted for 19,200 euros, and Mirko Miestri second with 11,310, and we had David Piganzoli up there as well, and he finished in the top 15. And when we break down the economics more, we can see that most of it came from stage results, 27,400, and intermediate sprints with 8,200, and Piganzoli was up there in the youth classification as well, 4,000 euros for that. So a very good Giro from them. Next we come to Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, who were left a bit disappointed with Primož Roglič leaving the race and Jai Hindley crashing out. However, when we look at the economics of their performance, we can see it's Giulio Pellizzari with the top money 26,471 in total. Roglic, despite not finishing in the Giro, is still responsible for 14,915 because of wearing the Maglia Rosa, being up there as well in the classification and finishing second on the time trial stage. Belisari, of course, finishing 6th in the GC, and that's where we see a lot of the money for his final classification, 13,588. And we also had Nico Dent at 11,910, and that mainly came from his stage win on stage 18. And we also had Belisari up there in the white jersey classification as well. He didn't win it, but he was second in that. Next, we come to the 5th place team, and that is XDS Astana. And they were very focused on getting that blue jersey because that equated to UCI points, and they're in the middle of a World Tour relegation battle. And we can see in the breakdown of the team, it was Christian Scaroni who was responsible for the most money at 30,639 euros. And this was mainly to do with the stage win. And of course, he also swept up a lot of mountains points and second places, flanking off Lorenzo Fortunato, and he was also second place in the mountains jersey competition. Lorenzo Fortunato won that, 21,258 euros from him. And we can see the final KOM GC actually equated to 9,000 in total. And he also did wear that jersey for 18 days, and that equated to the 6,750 for just wearing that. And the team's GC also gave them 2,000 euros as well. So a very, very good performance by Astana. Next, coming to EF Education Easy Post with 96,255 euros. And most of this, of course, is from Richard Carapaz, who finished 3rd and did take a stage win as well on stage 11. 80,093 euros is what he's responsible for, and that final GC equating for 68,801. Second in the team, 14,486 is Kesper Eskain with a stage winner as well. And you can see the rest of the team didn't quite contribute to the money, but of course they had jobs behind the scenes and during the day. Now we come to the final 3 teams, and make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and why not check out how Simon Yates won the race as well in this video here. But Little Trek is our 3rd team on the list with 134,906 euros in total, and that is very impressive considering their last year's total. But here it's the Dane himself, Mads Pedersen, and of course on the Cycling Dane we're very happy about this. The Dane taking 4 stage wins, 86,797 euros in total. That's made up of him taking those 4 wins, as we know, but also wearing the purple jersey from start to finish, 20 days. And of course you can't wear it on the first stage. And he also wore the Maglia Rosa for 5 days as well, and countless other things there. So impressive. And then we have Carlos Verona, who also took a stage winner, was up there in breakaways with 19,336 euros. And then we have Dan Hula, who also took a stage win on the second time trial with 13,562, and Matthias Vacek up there in the break, and Giulio Ciccone also contributing as well. But him and Søren Carnesen unfortunately left the race early. And we can also see that they had a lot of money coming from the intermediate sprints, from the final points GC as well, 10,000 euros there. Leader GC, 10,000 euros, and the points 13,500 in total for that classification, and stage wins amounted to 79,556 euros. So not just the stage results responsible for that, 134,906. Quite a very good performance by the team. Now coming to 2nd place and last year's winners of the prize money, and this is UAT Memories XRG. And yeah, left very heartbroken after Isaac Del Toro ultimately fading through a series of errors by the team, not winning the Maglia Rosa, and a great shame for him. But the 21-year-old did take a stage win. He did finish 2nd as well, and he did wear the Maglia Rosa for a number of days, 11 in total. So a lot to be happy about for the team, and he even won the white jersey classification as well. He was responsible for 214,856 euros, and his teammate Juan Ayuso, who was stung by a bee but did take a stage win himself, 15,738 euros. And Brandon Minolti, 14,058 euros was up there in a lot of results, and the rest of the riders very much on domestic duties. And when we break down the classification money, we can see that the final GC, the second place, where we also had Brendan McNulty in the top 10, was responsible for 149,863 euros. Stage results, including those 2 stage wins, 55,355 euros, more than many teams made in total. And the final youth classification, 10,000 euros, and wearing that white jersey for most of the Giro led to 9,000 euros as well. And they were the best team in terms of classifications, so that added up to 5,000 euros as well, which isn't actually quite that much when you think about the Red Bull kilometer being responsible for a lot. But a good performance by them, but a drop in prize money from last year where Tadej Pogačar steamrolled everyone. Now we come to the number 1, and that is Visma Lease bike with 363,327 euros in total, and most of this of course coming from Simon Yates, the final winner, with 275,657 in total. No stage wins to his name, but up there in the GC of course, but winning the classification. Olaf Koy taking 2 stage wins and getting 41,257 euros in total, and Wout van Aert also taking a stage win and coming top 3 as well on the first stage, finishing second and getting 36,106 euros in total. And when we look at the breakdown, we can see that the general classification is responsible for 265,668 euros, and stage results for them 65,259 euros in total, and they got a few intermediate sprints as well, 4,600 euros. And they also wore the Maglia Rosa on the last day on stage 21, so that equated to 2,000. So very interesting to say the least. But Visma Lease bike, they pulled off the coupe after UAE Emirates tripped themselves up on the final hurdle, and what a result that was for Simon Yates, coming full circle. Anyways, with that, that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out our prize money breakdowns from 2024 and 2023 if you haven't already. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you around.